And I think after having kids, physical intimacy also decreases to a level. And because obviously kid is between the two of you, and you're not able to talk to each other, you're not able to give that physical touch to each other, and that also create a lot of stress amongst the both of you, and that also has a lot of impact in the marriages, and then they start having fights because you're not giving time to me, or either way. I'm not saying only girls have to give. The guys also feel the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And how big is that one? Because um, again, why are children co-sleeping with us till age 10, 12? I know so many parents. There's nothing wrong in co-sleeping, but we also have to realize that we're again putting them always in the middle of us.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Um, of course, the intimacy is going to decrease. Initially, yes, a woman's body is changed. It's so tired. You are now also lactating. Your back's gone. You don't even own your body anymore because that small kid is now going to kind of,
Yeah,
leave
right.
you, and that's understandable. Um, but still, intimacy is not just sex, right? Intimacy
Yeah.
is holding hands. Intimacy is, um, just kind of stealing a coffee together. Intimacy is many other things. Uh, but like I said, if we only never forget that this child is 50-50%, this child is built by both of us. This child is the most beautiful thing that we've done together. Um, then it is also our job to do as well as we can in our own relationship, because that's why this child's come into this world. Now, how come this child's become the only apple of eye? How come this child is the center of attention so much that the person who's brought you this beautiful gift on this earth is not important anymore? It is going to, and what happens is, I think, lack of intimacy, lack of communication, lack of intention towards each other, then keeps building bigger conflicts, which again are never talked about. Because, if for example, if a husband talks about not having intimacy, and the wife in her mind is saying that, come on, yeah, I mean, this person doesn't understand. I'm like, tired to the hilt, and they don't make this communication.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree to it. Okay, couples don't communicate and they don't make this. It's going in their head, and they are not communicating, and and the buildup comes, and sometimes they backlash on each other in front of children. They start shouting at each other on small things, and that also affects kids in a way, a lot of way.
Oh, so much. And if we understand that, so another thing, as a trauma therapist, as a psychotherapist, I'd like to say is that we don't understand emotions. And we've termed negative and positive emotions very strictly in our lives. So if we are angry, if we are sad, we are frustrated, those are in our minds negative emotions, and we need to be calm, we need to kind of handle them. But emotions are emotions. So if we are happy, and we can only be happy if we know what sadness is, right? We can be calm if we know what anger is. And like you said, if there is a lack of communication and there are two people thinking something but they're not speaking it out, what they're doing with their emotions are they're suppressing it. And the big puzzle is that emotions can't be suppressed. Any emotion that is suppressed gets amplified. So you're going to keep quiet and with the anger for 5 days. The sixth day, you're going to have a volcanic eruption. And if that volcanic eruption is outside in angry tone, the relationship suffers. If you are submissive and you will not take that anger out, that emotion still has to go somewhere. Now that emotion of anger is inside you, And it can have a volcanic eruption inside as well, which means postpartum depression, which
Yeah.
means anxiety, which means mental health issue.
Yeah.
When you internalize the anger instead of releasing it, you can have a major mental health disorder for yourself. And a mother with a mental health disorder, depression, anxiety, very frustrating lives, will do what to her children? She won't be able to give the emotional connect to the child. So, if the child's emotional needs are not met by the mother who's depressed, the child grows up and becomes somebody later in his or her life who's always looking for love, or who becomes an angry person himself or herself. So, why don't we understand that this is couple relationships, marriages, um, mother's mental health is the most important thing and part of the puzzle of good parenting. Good parenting is not just, making sure that they sleep enough, they eat nutritious food, they go to the best colleges and schools. The most important part of the parenting is teaching them what good relationships are, what peace and calm in the house is. Because if a mother is not okay, and the father is not okay, there's chaos at home. If
I
your
agree.
child's ecosystem has chaos, the child is, what a child needs is safety and love. But if we are unable to give that to our children, then they grow up on a survival mode. They're going to be looking for love outside. They will be making bad decisions. They will be not intrinsically motivated. These kids are not the ones who study the best. These kids are not the most well adjusted in classes because they grow on chaos. Again, goes back to what we're talking about,
Yes.
couple
Couple
relationships,
relationships.
our own mental health, both parents, I think. A lot of talks that we do, we talk a lot about mother's mental health. But I think father's mental health is um, as important.